Damn. You know, I followed wrestling for most of my life. I started watching it young, right? And usually I get really annoyed when people do the childhood thing, you know? Like, oh, I'm reliving my past memories kind of thing. Because it's like, we're all adults here. But I will say, WWE's turn to TVPG when I was younger usually left me in a state of FOMO, right? Everybody, all the old fans kind of prattled on about how great it used to be. You know, it used to be everything, you know, everything sucks now, or blah, blah, blah. Everything sucks, and, you know, it was better back then, and all of that kind of thing. But what transpired at the end of WrestleMania 40 is exactly the example that I'm going to try to use when telling people that I love professional wrestling. No longer will they think of two commentators fighting. No longer will they think of anonymous GMs from the PG era. No longer will they think of some weird Rick and Morty Reddit fan base bullshit, right? Instead, they're going to think of Cody Rhodes finishing his hero's journey. Beyond just the finish, the match was laid out perfectly. All the sins of the bloodline came home to roost. Conquering heroes of WWE's past, present, and future. They entered the battle to even the odds for the man that's destined to carry the place going forward. Storytelling. It's generational. Jay tackling Jimmy off the stage kept the focus on the bloodline story, right? Kept it grounded for a little bit. But when John Cena entered for thrice in a lifetime, that's some good shit, pal. After Rock laid him out, and no, it was not Stone Cold, surprisingly, but The Undertaker that emerged. Which actually does make sense, because Undertaker's kind of this mythic character, a supernatural force that acts as this corrective being for the WWE. When somebody's out of line, Teddy Long sends his ass out to go handle some business, usually after a tag match. When that funeral got burned down in 1998, that funeral home with Undertaker and his parents inside by his psycho brother, the dead man came to collect. And so, perhaps it's appropriate that the home of wrestling is burning down. The final boss lit the match, and the dead man came to save it. The dead man would act as the corrective. I'm getting tired of this final boss bullshit. And finally, man, Seth Rollins taking the blow for Cody, and Roman's ultimate undoing being the fact that underneath it all, the tribal chief is the same scared young man who didn't want to turn heel. The same young man whose best friend turned on him. His brother turned on him 10 years ago. Keno. Just Keno. No other word for it. What did Roman in was his inability to move on. He became what he hated. And Seth redeemed him for his sins by ending the devil he created. Wrestling, man. God's favorite sport, I tell you. God, in the aftermath, dude. The return of the Jedi of professional wrestling. Every single babyface celebration on steroids. Samantha Irvin's crying. Michael Cole proven once again he just needed Vince out of his ear. Because damn it, he's fucking great when he's allowed to be. And Cody being embraced by Randy, the guy who brought him into everything, and CM Punk, Dusty's appointed guardian angel, weeping tears of joy. Man, that shit got me. Not gonna lie. I've had people like reach out to me in the last like 24 hours who are like either casual fans or really don't have too much interest in wrestling at all. And they ask me like how to watch this, like where could I look this up and stuff. And you know, it's extremely gratifying that that's the case, because the art form of wrestling, I think, finally earned its respect. Like, I'm glad it destroys the stupid narrative that, like, Cody's win is a, you know, it's a smart thing. Oh, it's a smart concession. Like, oh, it's just the internet fans. Like, you'd have a point about that if like, the houses were down and everything was kind of going to shit, and the only fans that were left were the Smarks, you know, kind of like AEW. The Rock's willingness to pivot too. I mean, he does, whether it was a pivot, work, shoot, it's probably somewhere in between at this point, but it did show me that deep down, underneath all of that Hollywood stuff, Rock will always be a wrestler first. Shouts out to Rocky, man. Good stuff. Truly giving back to the business in a real way. It's archetypal storytelling at its best, too. It's the hero's journey. Coney slayed the dragon. And speaking of that slayed dragon, man, Roman deserves his flowers. That man was put through a lot in that failed forced babyface run. That this night, in my mind, was vindication not just for Cody, but for Roman as well. He knew he could be a heel. For years, he just knew it. It was in his blood, and the fucking chairman would not listen to him. And you can see, as Roman and Paul were entering, they were like practically in tears. They must have dreamed about this moment for years. They had to have, right? The 4-year reign. They must have desperately wanted a conclusion worthy of it. With Heyman going into the Hall of Fame and Roman entering, and they got it. They got their ending. And Roman couldn't even hold back his smile as he was getting pinned. And I don't blame him, man. I do not blame him. Yeah, marks are in the ring, I get it, but damn it, that had to feel good. That had to feel good. And this will sound weird, but he deserved this loss in the best possible way. And I'm glad he was able to get it. Roman was vindicated too. His reign absolutely resurrected the brand, and it's really admirable what he was able to achieve with his family the last 4 years. It's also a plus that those bloodline meat riders got fucking demolished. That's right. Just because Roman Reigns is a generational world champion, he's also a heel. He's also the top villain. He's not your dad that left to go get cigarettes and fucking milk 10 years ago. Cope, seethe, cry about it. Seriously, look at these losers, bro. Fucking goobers, I tell ya. Goobers, every last one of them. The new era has begun, and it's a joyful one. From undesirable to undeniable. From Stardust to the guy. The American Nightmare to the American Ace. Congratulations to Cody. Go make some more cinema. So whatever challenges you face, whatever dragons you slay, stay a hero. Fight for the light. Protect what's holy. And when you do, keep it Kino. Because your life is cinema.